Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and complex. Why some people may be afraid of the US. This isn't about pointing fingers or making anyone the villain. It's about understanding different perspectives. When we talk about fear of a country, we're not necessarily talking about being scared of, like, its national bird or something. We're talking about a deeper unease, a sense of caution that stems from a whole bunch of factors. Think of it like this. The US is kind of like that friend we all have who's really good at a sport. They dominate the court, they're constantly winning awards, and it's awesome to have them on your team. But it can also be a little intimidating, so buckle up, grab your thinking caps, and let's get started. All right, let's address the extremely well-armed eagle in the room, the US military. It's no secret that the US boasts the most powerful military in the world. We're talking cutting-edge technology, a global network of bases, and a defense budget that's larger than the next several countries combined. Now, for many Americans, this military strength is a source of pride, a symbol of security in a dangerous world. But here's the thing. That same military might that makes some feel safe can make others feel, well, a little uneasy. The sheer scale of its military power, combined with its history of military interventions, can create a sense of apprehension, of what if, that lingers in the back of people's minds. It's like that old saying, speak softly and carry a big stick. The problem is, sometimes the stick is so big, it's hard to hear the speaking part. Let's move beyond the battlefield for a moment and talk about another kind of power, political and economic influence. The US, as we know, is a major player on the world stage. It's a permanent member of the UN Security Council, a key player in international trade agreements, and its currency, the US dollar, is the world's reserve currency. Now, this influence can be a good thing. The US has used its economic clout to promote democracy, support developing nations, and address global issues like climate change. But it can also be a source of tension. When a country wields that much economic power, its decisions have ripple effects across the globe. This kind of influence can lead to accusations of neo-imperialism, of the US throwing its weight around and dictating terms to other nations. Moving on from hard power, let's talk about something a little more subtle: culture. The US, with its melting pot of ethnicities, religions, and traditions, is often seen as a beacon of diversity. And it is. But that very diversity can also lead to misunderstandings and mistrust. Culture shapes how we view the world, how we interact with each other, what we value, and what we fear. What might seem like perfectly normal behavior in one culture can be perceived as offensive or even threatening in another. These cultural misunderstandings, amplified by media stereotypes and political rhetoric, can contribute to a sense of fear or distrust. It's like trying to understand a joke in a language you don't speak. You might get the gist of it, but you're bound to miss some of the nuances. Okay, let's talk about history. Now, history, as we all know, is complicated. It's messy, it's full of contradictions, and it has a way of sticking around long after the events themselves have faded from memory. And the US, for all its good intentions, has a history that's, well, let's just say it's not all sunshine and rainbows. From its involvement in Cold War coups to its support for authoritarian regimes, the US has made its fair share of foreign policy missteps. Often, they were based on a genuine, albeit misguided desire to protect US interests or promote democracy. But the consequences of those actions have left a lasting legacy of resentment and distrust in many parts of the world. Finally, let's talk about the power of stories. Specifically, the stories that Hollywood tells about the US and its place in the world. Now, movies are awesome. They entertain us, they make us think, they allow us to escape into different worlds for a couple of hours. But they also have the power to shape our perceptions, to influence how we see ourselves and others. And when it comes to portraying the US, Hollywood often relies on familiar tropes: the lone hero, the exceptional nation, the force for good in a world of darkness. These narratives, while entertaining, can also perpetuate stereotypes and reinforce a sense of American exceptionalism. This portrayal of the US as a benevolent superpower, while appealing to some, can also be alienating and even threatening to others. So, there you have it, 5 factors that contribute to why some people might fear the US. From its military might and political influence to its cultural differences, historical actions, and media portrayals, the US casts a long shadow on the world stage. It's important to remember that fear is a complex emotion. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Let us know in the comments what you think about these factors and if there are any other reasons you believe contribute to the fear of the US.